I shot this like 3 times already, so this take we're sitting. So I haven't posted in a couple weeks, and the main reason is because I have decided, I made a deal with myself that I'm only gonna post content that I'm proud of and that makes me happy. A lot of big YouTubers, whenever they make videos like how to start a YouTube channel, how to make your channel grow in like 2 minutes, it's always like, you need to post like 5 times a week. You need to always post. And then like, that's what I've been doing for the past year. I've been trying to post every single week, and there were several points where I just felt so burnt out and it felt like I was only posting content for the sake of it. I only want to make videos that I'm proud of from now on, that make me happy and hopefully make you guys happy watching. Tink, I made this, by the way. Color me mine, please call me back. Please call me back. I would like to work there, please. I'm begging. For today's video, a lot of things have been happening for the past 2 weeks that I haven't uploaded. I shot a roll, and there's been a lot of stuff happening in regards to Asian hate crimes in America. So I want to kind of touch on both, so buckle on up. We have a lot of ground to cover today. A couple of weeks ago, maybe it was a month ago now, my mom and I went to like so many different thrift stores and pawn shops to look for film cameras, and one of the pawn shops we went to had a Minolta X-700. That in itself is like is a whole story because we thought it was broken and it wasn't, and my mom and the guy at the pawn shop almost threw hands, but that is besides the point. We bought the camera and it turned out to be working, and it's actually like perfect condition. It's like the owner never touched it or something. I finally shot with it with Summer last week, and I also had a roll of X-400 that's been sitting in my fridge for, I want to say, almost 2 years now. It expires in August of this year, so I wanted to make sure I used it. So that's what we shot with. Oh my god. I'm gonna go through some of the pictures that I'm really happy with. I'm just like really proud of this roll. I feel like the rolls that I'm not optimistic about are the rolls that tend to turn out better than I expected. So here are some of my favorites. Here's the first one. It is so dramatic. It's so cinematic. I had Summer lay on the floor. Now that I'm looking at it, there's like a dust speck that I need to fix. I don't know how I missed that, but anyway, I had Summer lay on the floor, and I had like a vase of dried flowers in front of her. So it was giving her like a partial shadow over the bottom half of her face, and then she's facing a window, so the light is perfectly bouncing off of her eyes, and it looks so magical. One of the things I like to do when I shoot with Summer is find ways to like really emphasize her eyes, because she hides magic in there or something. These two are also really cool. This was completely accidental. Again, Summer laid on the floor, but she was in front of her mirror this time, and since her mirror has a beveled edge, when she lied down, it kind of gave a double eye effect. And I was like, oh my god, we have to roll with this. This is incredible. Another thing I love to do when I shoot with Summer is shoot in her bathroom, specifically her bathtub. For some reason, so she hopped in there, and her bathroom was pretty dark. She has a window over her shower, but the light wasn't shining through very much, so I'm like, oh, what if I shine my flashlight? One hand holding the flashlight, other hand holding the camera, and it gave this really strong shadow casted on the wall, and I really, really love it. The grain is intense of the ones that we shot inside her house, but I feel like it really adds. You can't get this with digital, people. I mean, you can, but it's just not the same. Since I've been shooting, you can't even see it, with that Minolta for so long, that was my go-to. My ride or die Minolta. I just got used to not having a light meter on my camera and just using the app on my phone had become second nature to me, but having a camera with a working light meter is life-changing. It really is. And then we decided to take the operation outside. The second I stepped foot to leave my house to go to Summers and I saw the sky, it was gray. Completely overcast. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna throw everything off. But it actually worked out pretty good. We wanted to do like a mid-action shot of her like leaping through the air because her outfit is just so perfect for that. This is like one of the better of the 3 shots. Halfway through the shoot, this was completely unintentional as well, but like the makeup and just her look of the day reminded me of Ko Moon Young from It's Okay Not to Be Okay. And ever since I thought that thought, it was like sitting in the back of my hair. It was sitting in the back of my head and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I feel like some of these shots were kind of inspired by that show because it is creepy. She's so dramatic and glamorous, so I really wanted to channel that with these photos. This is another one I really love. We were walking down one of the streets in her neighborhood and this street was lined with trees with white blossoms. I don't know if they're plum blossoms or something, but they were blossoming. This tree was so beautiful. It looked like it had branches cut off of it before, but it had leaves and blossoms blooming out of where the branches were cut, and it's so pretty. So I had summer lean against there and I went for a low angle shot of her. I love it. There's so many textures going on. I had to incorporate the blossoms into it. It was like clouds of blossoms just over us. So I had to do another low angle shot. I love this pose. I feel like it works really well. At this point, I think I had like 10 more exposures left. I knew I had to save some of the exposures because my mom wanted to shoot with me the following day at Lake Las Vegas. The last few were inside Summer's room. At this point, the lighting was really nice, shining through her window, and I wanted to take advantage of that. So I had her sit below her window. I love this one. Like, the beam of light at the top is just, it's so pretty. I love this. She had the brilliant idea of using one of the skirts she has as a veil. Look how dreamy this is. The light coming from behind her and the hand, oh my god, the hands. Okay, so something I like to do to spice up portrait shots is finding a way to incorporate hands. I feel like hands add like a whole new layer of interest to a photo. Like, okay, imagine me sitting here just like this. This is like a passport photo, but then the second you add hands with these last few ones, I had her lean her head against the wall, and then I brought over one of her plants to kind of frame her face a little bit, add some more texture to the image. This one we tried to go for motion blur, but it didn't really come through. That was the portion of the roll that I shot with Summer. If I shot this with color, it really wouldn't have done it justice, I think. So then the following day, my mom and I went to Lake Las Vegas. I'm still trying to figure out which photos I want to submit to the contest I mentioned in my last video. So I wanted to see if maybe I could shoot something that's worth using at Lake Las Vegas. Is that you walking in place?
Yes.
I only have a few that I really like. I shot a couple water photos. I feel like sometimes they're kind of boring to look at as is, but with this one I love the glimmer that the light casts on the water. It's so versatile. This is like a blank slate that I could use to manipulate. I could add text to it if I wanted to. I could make it into a diptych. I could make it into a collage. I feel like this is just a nice versatile image. And with this one, I actually used the negative as is. I didn't like invert it to the positive, if that makes sense. And I really like how this looks as a negative because it kind of looks like chrome. This one was a toughie. Obviously with your phone, you're able to like adjust the exposure and stuff to compensate for both lighting situations. But with my camera, I wanted to make sure the outside was well exposed, but then the inside ended up being too dark, and I feel like it would have only worked if I like took the picture twice and then stacked them on top of each other, but I didn't have a tripod, so this is what I got. Besides that, those are the main photos. Those are the ones that I'm the happiest with, that I wanted to share with you guys. For the final part of this video, I wanted to highlight some of the Asian American women, creative women, the Asian American creatives that I'm inspired by. If I were to talk about all of them, this video would be like 3 hours long. I'm gonna do my best to talk about a good chunk of them, and I'll also link them in the description down below if you want to check them out, even though they're 10 times more popular than I am. But anyway,